Okay, I'm trying to figure out an appropriate away from my mouth length. Okay, this is good. I don't think I'm hitting the red at all like this.
The away
Excellent.
from my mouth length. We are very professional podcasters, as you can tell.
Yep, we
These
know
mics
what
do
we're
not
doing.
cost $30. Absolutely not.
Listen. They do a good job considering that they're $30.
Yeah, I know. And at the end of the day, when I started my channel, my production value was absolutely garbage, and people still watched my videos, so I figure we're allowed to have a learning curve here too.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's
Yeah.
fine. For
And I
some
finally
reason,
yeeted my absolutely garbage mic that I was using last time. I
good.
cannot believe I used to film my videos with that thing. I hated it so much, and now
Yeah,
it's gone.
it looked terrifying when you took it out of its box. I'm like, how did you ever manage with this? I have so many
It's
questions.
so bad.
So I know it's recording because of the little white box that's around the red recording button, right?
What?
I'm pretty sure I pressed the recording button, but now I am looking at it. I'm like, am I? But it's showing up on the thing, so obviously it's
If the
going.
audio is, you can see the audio doing the audio thing, then it is recording.
Yeah, I see the audio doing the audio thing.
Oh,
Okay.
fantastic.
Shall we
Okay.
actually try and get into it?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Well,
shall get into it. So the first
okay.
thing that we wanted to talk about that we
Well,
realized we had many hot takes
wait. We
about
gotta
is-
we gotta introduce ourselves for people who might just
Oh.
be listening for the first time.
Of
God
course,
damn
the people don't know who we are. We're not famous enough.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. We're not famous yet. We only have 900 subscribers, Tia. There might be new people who are like, who are these people?
I mean, 900 subscribers is pretty good considering
mean-
we made one video and I barely promoted it except on Tumblr. So
No, I'm very impressed, actually. And I'm very impressed by our view count, too. Thank you, listeners.
what is it?
It's over 2.
What's the-
It's over 2.5K. I think it might be 2.6 already or close to it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun! It's kind of exciting to start another channel that's really tiny. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, there is something really fun about the like very very beginning of your channel when you're seeing it grow, and like 2,000 is so many. But
Yeah, I'm very excited. Like, I'm very hype. I know you're a big famous YouTuber, but like, I'm very hype watching.
no, I'm hyped
the things
too.
go.
It's really
good.
fun.
Okay.
I honestly am like hesitant to like promote this super hard because I kind of like it being small and cute and audio quality being garbage. But
Yeah,
don't know.
no, I think I would be okay with us just, growing it organically,
just
I-
this being our secret podcast that nobody knows about,
Yeah, exactly.
unless you get into the Strange Eon's deep lore.
Exactly. Only
Perfect.
Yeah, only whoever follows you on Tumblr and then I guess people in the Patreon chat know, and that's about it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
missed some good mysterious black liquid yesterday.
I know I wanted to finish Stranger Things with you guys so badly, but alas,
Just gonna plug my Patreon. We
Yeah.
were on voice chat for 8 hours watching Stranger Things together yesterday. Except
Yeah.
Nemo dipped out halfway through.
Yeah, I had responsibilities in the void and I had to leave, but it was a lot of fun. Also, the regulars that you have on the voice chat, they're all very sweet. If you guys are listening right now, hi, I love you all. You made me feel very welcome and it was wonderful.
They are fantastic. I'm excited to finally meet some of them in real life.
Yeah, tell
Next
me how it
weekend.
goes. Tell me how it goes.
Okay. Because you will see, I don't know when this is going to be posted, but we're making a very interesting video that some of my patrons are participating in. You will know if it's out yet. If it is not out yet, prepare your mind, body, and soul. I had to explain it to the company that is sponsoring it.
Yeah.
The woman emailed me back and just like, what the fuck, Tia? She did not say what the fuck. She was just having to explain highly questionable things
Yes. Okay.
in a serious setting, like discussing a video sponsorship was interesting.
Yeah, that's great.
But anyway, actual topics. We haven't even started talking and we're already off topic.
I know. Okay, but first, we need to introduce ourselves. I will go first.
Oh, we haven't even done that
No.
yet. God damn it. We're
Okay.
so useless. Okay.
Okay. Hello, listeners. It's your ghoul, your MC of Spook, the ghost with the most. I'm Nemo.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
A while? I don't know. It's been. You have been out gallivanting like God knows where for the past month, and I've just been sitting here thinking of ways to sound cool on the podcast. So you know what? Deal with it.
Oh, I am sad that I was starting to miss making videos. I'm just gonna come back and be ridiculously tanned, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell happened to you? Why were all of your videos pre-filmed for the last 3 weeks?" Well, I was off in the void. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, but a different
But-
void. She was not visiting me, unfortunately. It's very sad. Very sad.
No. Yeah, but
Okay, so what's your
yes,
name?
Anyway, I regret being gone for the past month to 3 weeks ish. My name is Teya. I run a fantastic YouTube channel called Strange Eons that you may have heard of. Today I got something in my P.O. box that was addressed to Teya, I assume because they don't know my last name, and I just think that's fantastic. So feel free to call me Teya.
I love it. Please call me Tia. Miss Tia is my mother.
Of course.
Okay.
Anyway, content.
Content. So today we are talking about body image.
Body image / body hair was one
Yes.
that we found very interesting.
Yes, when we were coming up with
All right.
topics, we were like, yeah, let's,
Mhm.
talk about body hair. And then we were like, well, we should probably talk about other things, because can we go on for an hour about body hair? And yeah.
Knowing us, we absolutely could.
I mean, yeah, we
But-
100% could.
yes, body image in general is the topic of the day.
Yes.
You may begin.
I may begin. Okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about, this was something that I saw a few months ago, and I just wanted to bring it up to you and see like what thoughts it spawned organically, because we haven't had the chance to talk about it. Actually, maybe I mentioned it to you briefly, but I don't know. Whatever. You've probably forgotten,
Okay.
so it's
Anyway,
fine.
mention it again.
Yeah. So, the other day I was watching TV and there was a commercial for a lady's, I want to say razor, but to be honest, it's been long enough now that I don't remember if it was a razor or like hair removal cream, but like some hair removal product directed towards women. So, the whole point of this commercial was like the tagline was, nobody can tell you how much of your hair like is appropriate except you. Like the whole idea being like, you're in control of your body hair and no one has the right to tell you to do anything to it if you don't want to. And I'm just sitting here while this,
But it's an ad for hair removal.
but it's an ad for hair removal. And I'm just sitting here watching this corporation who literally thrives off of, women thinking they're hairy beasts and they have to remove all their hair, or else like this company would not have any money. And I'm just like,
What?
Can you relax, please?
That is the most openly hypocritical thing I've ever heard in my life.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, it went very silent for a second. Oh lord. Technical difficulties.
Oh, Lord. Filming the pod on Discord. That's oof. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, the Discord connection to the Void is not great right now, apparently. Like they won't hear all of the cutting out and difficulty we have hearing each other. We just gotta pretend it's not there. We just gotta piece together what each other are saying to the best of our ability.
Okay. Good. Sounds good. Anyways, so like this commercial happened and yeah, I agree with you. It's totally hypocritical. But I thought
Yeah.
it was interesting because I think it's really reflective of something that we see a lot these days, which is this whole idea of like girl power and female empowerment, but it's not actually. It's
just like trying to sell you empowerment.
yeah,
Along with products to remove your body hair because that makes total sense.
yeah, exactly. I just
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was-
I call bullshit on that one.
and also like the way it was framed, because of course like the actresses who they were like walking on the beach and all these beautiful thin like traditionally attractive women, like of course they don't have any body hair on them. So the implication is, like to me at least, one of the implications was, oh yeah, you can remove your body hair. Like don't listen to those weird feminists who are telling you that like it's not empowering to shave your legs.
Okay.
Because look at the
It's empowering to fit society standards, girls. Listen up.
honestly, if there was a tagline for this entire episode, I think what you just said would be the tagline. Like, because I think that is very much like the thing. Like, it's empowering to fit society standards, and only when you're fitting society standards. It's like,
It's kind of like one of the big criticisms I have of like body positivity, not even necessarily like the super corporate selling empowerment sort of version, but even like small Tumblr posts and stuff. One of the biggest problems I have it is all the rhetoric still prioritizes beauty in a way. And to me, like being beautiful or not being beautiful, being like body positive or empowered or whatever is about kind of letting go of the need to be beautiful or attractive or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like like that is honestly the reason why I think things like Goblin Core are genuine outlets for people, because it's idealizing something that's so opposite to what society values. Just like, haha, I'm gonna run off into the forest and grab things with my tiny hands. Like, it's so adorable to see like that be, I don't know, something that young girls identify with instead of these like supermodels walking hairless on a beach.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%. I think that's also why like you see a lot of people in general who are kind of outside of that mainstream gravitating towards not just things like Goblin Core, but also like monstrous things. Like just
What things?
like monsters and like things that are kind of like disgusting, quote unquote, or like ugly or terrifying, because there's a kind of freedom in that. Like there's a freedom in embracing the grotesque and like the terrifying, I think, in a way that you're not allowed to embrace. Like, don't get me wrong, there is something very, very deeply unsettling and terrifying about like the size 0 model with the vacant eyes who like eats nothing but salad, and even then it's like one leaf of salad a day. Like there's something very terrifying about that, but it's terrifying in a different way than being like, yeah, you know, I want to be this giant non-corporeal monster with tons of very sharp teeth and a million eyes. Like, it's different. One of those things is your choice, right? Because you can be a super skinny model, but like your choice to be a super skinny model is always going to be pushed down on by like society. Like you don't come to that decision by like purely your own will, your own free will. But also like
one thing that like honestly, wait a second. Oh shit. The children. I didn't know the children. Excuse me, I'm a podcaster.
Are you doing a podcast?
Excuse me. Yeah, say hi. I'll edit this
I
out.
thought it was filming. Are you a cam girl?
No.
Hi, Sasha. Teya, you're an e-girl now.
Jesus Christ. I thought they were coming at like 8 p.m. Okay.
Okay,
Can you give me like 10 minutes and we could come back to this?
Okay. Hello, everybody. We're back after a brief interlude.
Interruption.
Teya, you wanted to say something about what you got in the mail?
Yes. So I was so rudely interrupted by humans barging into my apartment, who I expected many hours later. But during the brief time that we were gone, I also opened some P.O. Box mail that I had lying in my kitchen, and I found a drawing of Chaos Demon Spencer for us, which is fantastic. And yes, I'll send it to you.
You must. Oh, I was hoping.
Okay.
No, that's so funny that you say that, because like when I was conceiving of ideas to talk about for the first pod, and I thought about Chaos Demon Spencer, I'm like, how incredible would it be if someone made fan art of this? Because it's the most like it seemed to me to be the most like easy thing to make art of, and I'm so happy someone followed through. Let me look at this.
I just put it in the Discord.
I'm screaming. Look at his horns. Look at his horns.
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
I can't. Oh my god, thank you. Thank you whoever sent that. It's giving me so much joy. I'm crying.
Her name in the letter, I believe she said her name is Emily. So thank you to Emily, our podcast listener who drew Chaos Demon Spencer.
Emily, I love you. Thank you for this. Also, if any of you are listening to this and are like, what are they talking about? Go listen to the first podcast and context will be revealed unto you. Okay.
We were talking about body image.
Yes, and
what were we saying about it is the real question.
there's just so many angles with which to come at it about. And I also want to tell the story of the clothing store who shall not be named because, I don't want us to get
yes,
sued.
I love that story. I love that story. Okay.
Should I tell it now?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
All right. So, as you all may or may not know, I do not have a mortal body. I am incorporeal, but once in a while, you want to dress nicely, even if you are an incorporeal demon from, the vast, horrific alternate dimensions beyond time. So, the other day, I drag myself into a local clothing store who we shall not name because we're not here to get sued. So, I'm wandering around with someone else who I also.
Like a very mainstream store that you would know.
Yes, very mainstream. This is at a mall, a shopping mall. So I'm there with somebody
Yes.
else who is close to me, who I won't name. And we're just walking around, and suddenly in the corner of the store, we turn and look, and it's clothing, but it looks weird. Like, this store is geared to young adults and, adults. So the person who's with me goes, "Wait, are those children's clothes? I didn't know they had a children's area here." And I just turn and look out of the corner of my eye, my many, many eyes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that checks, that tracks, I guess. It checks out. Those indeed do look like children's clothes. And then I thought about it for, an extra 30 seconds and realized that no, this store does not have children's clothes. And they were clothes for adults. They were very small clothes for very small adults. There was an ad of a very small young woman, and it was terrifying because I was looking at it, I'm like, what human being can fit into these things? And like, obviously I know that there are skinny people out there, and no judgment to them. I'm on a call with one of them right now. But I was
And I admit to owning some child-sized tank tops. But like, I just think that's hilarious that like, yes, of course, this is the children's section because out of context, that is exactly what that would look like.
like,
Just the size of these tiny shirts
it
that
was,
these very mainstream stores sell.
yeah, like the shirts were like like driving me crazy to look at them because I'm like, what fits in there? But also the pants. Like the person who was with me, she holds up a pair of jeans, and I'm like, I couldn't. I was so like, I was staring at them, and it was an out of body experience because I'm just like, I don't understand. And like, okay, to be fair to this store, they did have larger sizes, but almost all of their larger sizes were sold out. So what remained in the store with like size 0 and like all those small sizes. And it was just the trippiest
See,
experience.
I'm the only person who wins in this experience because I am the tiny person who needs tiny pants. But
But it was just, yeah, like I don't go shopping very often, mostly because I don't like to be confronted with you know,
the horrors of having a body.
the horrors of having a body, which occasionally, you gotta pretend to have, even if you are a non-corporeal creature. But it just, I don't know. Like, I tried to think about what it would be like if I was a young girl walking into this store, and because like most of these clothes, like they sell like clothes for men and women, but in this context, these were very clearly clothes that were intended to be sold to young women. I was trying to think about how I would feel.
Oh yeah, men get human-sized clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women get children's clothes.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried to imagine how I would feel if I was like a 12-year-old walking into this store that happened to not have the kind of body that could fit into these tiny clothes. Like, really some Polly Pocket shit, guys. Like, I cannot exaggerate enough what I was looking at and what an experience it was to look at these clothes and realize they were for adult humans.
Oh, we have been to a mall. We know. It's just, I feel like a lot of us are blind to it. Like, I never thought about it before, really. But just the story where you look up in horror and see a poster of an adult wearing these children's-sized clothes. It's just so good. It's just...
It was just terrifying because, like, I know obviously that usually clothes for women are small. Like, I've seen them before, but for some reason there was something about this experience that was just so unexpected and so like just hit me. that it was just very
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Like I could not get out of there fast enough because I'm just like I don't want to be in this place right now. Like this is some weird stuff going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, as someone who fits into those clothes, like what do you think about that? Like have you ever had a
Um,
similar experience where something struck you as strange, or like do you find it strange at all, or am I just dragging this corporation needlessly?
hmm. No, I think it's definitely a draggable moment. I don't know. It hasn't occurred to me, and I guess that's part of the privilege of fitting into tiny clothes. I do own like a couple things that look like that, even though it's certainly not the majority of my wardrobe. I've been told that I dress like a Mormon by my aggressively straight sister. So, which I don't think I dress like a Mormon. I think I wear
I think
clothes that are the correct size for me.
I think Mormons would be terrified of you if they saw you. Cuz you do
I think so too. Thank you.
like you're covered, but
Yeah.
it does not read
Which
as
is not in any way superior to people who want to show off more skin. Go for it. Show as much or as little skin as you feel like. But
don't show skin. I don't want to see your skin. But like this is just I don't want to see anybody's skin. Keep your skin under the clothes. Keep your skin in a bag far away from me.
wow,
Thank
are you skin shaming? Listen, just because you don't have any human skin doesn't mean you can skin shame.
Yeah, no, I'm skin shaming. I only want to see muscle and bone here.
Not
Only-
all of us can be entirely covered in teeth.
Listen, if you're not covered
Canceled.
if
Nemo
you're-
is canceled.
if you're not covered in teeth, you're not valid. Sorry, not sorry.
God.
Yeah.
Just another unrealistic expectation for women.
Listen, if nothing else, I support body equality. Everyone should be covered in teeth, and everyone who's not covered in teeth is guilty of the same sin.
I see how it is.
Yeah. But
I gotta get some more teeth.
yeah, you really do. I do too. Speaking of, do you know where your baby teeth are, or were you one of those weird people who just threw them out?
I used to at my previous houses. My mom had a little jar that she kept them in.
Yeah.
Not really a jar. It was like a little silver box, and
Yeah.
she used to keep it like on this one nightstand
Yeah.
in our previous houses, but I don't know where it is in our current house. So yes and no. I believe they were kept, and at one point I knew exactly where to find my former teeth,
Yeah.
but I no longer know where they are exactly.
Unfortunate. We got to go on a treasure hunt to find your lost baby
For my
teeth.
teeth.
No, I only asked because
I'm thinking, where is she keeping the teeth?
I also
I'm
thought
gonna call my mom tonight and demand to know where the teeth are.
yeah, I also thought that I'd lost mine because, as you can imagine, I have many. But it turned out that they were right where I always thought they were, and I just at some point thought that they had moved from there, and they didn't. They are currently located in a tiny pair of ceramic booties. But,
That's kind of adorable.
yeah, like if you've never seen the skull of a human child who hasn't, like, okay,
Oh, I
obviously, like
have.
this makes
It's terrifying.
it is terrifying.
It's like, what the hell is that cryptid? It's the tooth monster. There's so many teeth in
Yeah.
there. How does a
Like, it
child
sounds-
fit so many teeth inside of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know sharks too. I think they have a certain number of like teeth that when one falls out, like another one comes in, but like it's a finite number. Like or some animal, there's some animal with a lot of teeth that can do that. It might be sharks, it might not be sharks. But it's very interesting. Like because if you see a skull of that, like especially like a human child skull, I think there's something about seeing a human skull that is like not exactly what you expect it to be. Like there's something deeply unsettling about that because you expect a human skull to have one set of teeth. So when you see a child skull that has two sets, it's like, oh yeah, we are kind of the weird like cryptid alien things that we so fear. But it's just at different stages of our lives. Then the other set of teeth falls out and we look quote unquote normal. But it's interesting. It makes you think about the body and humanity in a different way, I think.
Oh yeah, human bodies are terrifying.
Yeah. There's some weird shit going on. Some weird shit going on in there. I mean, I guess that
Definitely.
technically does apply to body image in a weird way.
It does.
So good.
If you
Good
ever
for us
feel
for
gross,
staying on
just think
topic.
about how many teeth you had in your skull as a child. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't it so weird and fantastic to be a human with teeth?
Yeah, man.
Hashtag
I
goblin
mean,
core.
can't relate, but I think humans are cool. I
Hmm.
mean, I think it was on Tumblr that I read this once, like just like we're all haunted meat. Well, we're all meat suits, piloted by a haunted skeleton. It's like it's cool when you
Yeah,
think about that. It's real cool when you think about it like that. Like,
exactly. Why be beautiful when you can be a haunted meat suit?
oh, now I remember what you were saying before we were so rudely interrupted. You were talking about how like the focus on beauty when it like in discussions of body positivity bothers you. And I agree with that, I think. Like on the one hand, I think it's really hard to sort of step outside of this paradigm that holds up beauty as the ultimate thing. Like I think that must
Hmm.
be very difficult.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think you can find beauty in other things. Like I think where the issue hinges is on like the definition of beauty. Like
Yeah.
I can find something really weird and kind of gross looking beautiful in its own way.
I
And I
knew,
think
yes, the
that's
second you said that, I knew exactly where you were going with this. Because, of course, there are
yeah.
different kinds of beauty. And I know, like, one thing that you really appreciate is a weird nose. So, and that's exactly the thing about myself that I hate the most. So, of course, everyone, what the
Yeah.
problem is the super, super narrow definition of beauty. Because I
Agreed. Yeah.
fell into a weird hole on Instagram because of course, I am getting a nose job. I've been public about this before. Um, I was supposed to have it already twice, but it keeps getting postponed because of other health situations or life situations. So, while researching that, surgeons and whatever, I fell into a weird hole of like plastic surgery on Instagram. And that is terrifying. I will tell you, that is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. They all have the same face.
Yeah, there was some well, I hesitate to say articles because it's not like these were in, you know, big news publications or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
there was people were noting in actually wait no that's a lie this was in an academic article that I read, so never
Oh,
mind, I'm back on it. Yeah, it was an
academia.
academic article. Yeah, so people have started, like women have started getting plastic surgery like of their jaws and noses and lips and stuff to emulate the Kardashians. Like I think it was Kim Kardashian who was specifically cited in this paper. And
Mm-hmm.
I had remembered seeing it in like gossip columns and stuff and not really paying attention to it. Yeah, when do I pay attention to anything that's not academia? Well, what can you do? But then I reread it in this article and it's like, yeah, this is an actual phenomenon that's being noticed and is being tracked. Like people are making their faces to look like the popular celebrity of the time, whatever it is. So like that it reminded me of that when you were just talking because it's this idea that like there's one face and we if you want to be beautiful you got to get the one face and it's like
Exactly.
it's
But the thing is, the one
yeah.
face changes. Every decade has completely different beauty standards. So it's like,
Yeah. And every decade people forget, which is wild. It's like
yeah.
people who don't
And like,
believe that it's changeable are wild to me.
what weirds me out is like, I don't know, I guess, because there are some people who, of course, make their career being hot, you know? But the average person isn't going to be an actor or an Instagram model or any of that stuff, you know? So it's kind of just like,
Yeah.
why? Why place your value on looking like a Kardashian when is that ever going to benefit your life?
Like I think so there have been studies done that attractive people do better in the world than non-attractive people. Like they will get a job. Like if it's between two people with the same qualifications, the more attractive person will get the job every time. And
Mm-hmm.
the trend of that is steeper in women than in men. Like it exists for both, but you notice it more among women.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very real. Hot people privilege is very real. And
Huh.
I think we have to be careful, you and me here, because I think while I don't think either of us would classify ourselves as beautiful, like I think like I've told you before, I love your face deeply, but I don't know if you would classify yourself as beautiful. Maybe you would. I don't know. Would you?
Well, I mean, I like the way that I look, but not. I don't look in the mirror and think, "Hot damn, that bone structure's looking good today." You know, like it's more like
Yeah.
I have a style and an aesthetic, and I enjoy that. So I like the way I look more for my aesthetic choices than for the structure of my face.
Neither of us are sitting here like hating the way we look.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's difficult. Like I like my instinct is to 100% agree with you about like why do these people care? But I think there are some people who are actively like ridiculed for the way they look and where it's constantly brought up to the forefront in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, like they just like
Yeah.
they want to change it. Like we don't know because I don't think we've ever had to face that in the
No,
same
but
way
I
that
also
some
don't
people
think
do.
that most people have had to face that. What I'm talking
Yeah.
about is more average good-looking people who are completely
Yeah.
fine looking already who just change themselves for the sake of looking like a Kardashian, you know?
Yeah.
I think very few people are unattractive to the point of being ridiculed every day for it. That of course exists, and that's not something I feel like I have any right to speak on. But no, what I'm talking about is the Instagram clones. That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a point where the physical and the pursuit of the ideal physical form for some people just sort of surpasses everything else. Yeah, I don't know what to say to those people and I don't know what to think of those people. I've never interacted with one of them one on one, but like it's like I don't want to say another species because that's dehumanizing, but it's like there's a rift between my manner of thinking and their manner of thinking that I couldn't tell you how I would even begin to surpass it. Like I can't even offer theories because it's like they're on a different plane of thought than I am.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a judgment or anything. Like, oh, I'm so much better and smarter
The
than these
plastic surgery world
stupid
is
hot Instagram
weird and
models.
scary, and we are scared of it, and we don't have
Yeah.
any hot takes because we are scared of it. That's all. Um,
Yeah. Well, there was a thing actually. So in Brazil, this was
that's
another
like
academic
plastic
article
surgery
I
is
read a
huge
few
there,
years
right?
ago. Yeah, it's free. But in the article that I read, this plastic surgeon was saying like there was this girl in particular who
Hmm.
was getting she was getting some surgery, I think like fat reduction and something like on her face. And the it was an I think it was an anthropologist who was writing the paper. So like whoever wrote the paper was talking to the surgeon and the surgeon says to the writer, listen, I can't fix anything else in this girl's life. I can't make her suddenly not poor so she can actually eat healthy. I can't change her living situation. I can't change her economic situation. I can't change anything else. What I can do is give her this surgery so she's at least happy for a little while. Like I can do that for her. I can't do anything else. So it was interesting to me this idea of like plastic surgery as kind of almost a form of therapy. Like I don't agree with it, but it was a really interesting way to frame the issue because like
Hmm.
the idea of it being necessary because like it's the only thing that can make certain people happy because changing the underlying causes of their unhappiness is just won't happen in their lifetime. So that was really
Yeah, I think
scary and really interesting.
I've heard the I've heard a lot of people say online that like getting plastic surgery won't make you happier. And as someone who plans to in the next 6 months, I don't quite believe that, you know? Like, I have dug very deep through my mind, asking myself why it is that I hate my nose. Is there any sort of underlying societal expectations that are making me dislike it? Is there something I need to work at before I jump to getting surgery? And I've come to the
We live in
conclusion
a society.
that we live in a society, but also the root cause of my hatred for my nose is that my nose is ugly, and that is all there is to it, and I will be happier when I have a nice nose. So yes, plastic surgery is not going to fix my life, but yes, it is going to make me happier. So saying plastic surgery won't make you happy, I think that's kind of bullshit. It's not going to make you entirely happy. It's not going to fix everything in your life, but it's going to make you happy about the particular thing that you wanted changed, unless it gets horribly botched. You know, people get piercings and tattoos and change their appearance in all sorts of ways, and
I disagree. Like, your feelings are valid, and like we've talked about this a lot since you decided. Like,
Mhm.
even before you, like we've talked about this since like you pretty much were first deciding about getting your nose done. But
Yeah.
like, I disagree. Like, your feelings are valid, and obviously, I'm not going to try to stop you. But I
No, I'm
think like
curious. I'm not offended. I'm
it.
curious. Please go on.
Well, so like you say that you've thought about like why you want your nose to be fixed and
Mhm.
like why you dislike it, and like the conclusion that you have come to is that it's just ugly.
Mm.
But like it's just ugly in like you seeing it. Like you yourself believe it to be ugly, which is fine and whatever. But it's not that it is like it is not a universally accepted fact that your nose is
Yeah.
ugly. Because I adore your nose. A lot of our friends adore your nose. So clearly, it is a matter of taste. So, in terms of your taste, you think your nose is ugly.
Yeah.
So, since
But at the
we
same
have
time, I don't think that people with noses like mine are ugly. In fact, a lot of the time, we're gonna get deep into my subconscious here. I don't know. But a lot of the time when I watch other like nose job experience vlogs on YouTube and stuff, just to get a sense of what it's gonna be like, a lot of the time I look at the girls and I'm like, why would you do that? You don't need a nose job. Your nose is fine. It's perfect. It looks great. It gives you character. But like very rarely would I ever look at someone and think that they should change their nose, but there's something about it being me and it being my face that is just different.
yeah, and like you don't have to know. Like obviously your body is your body. Bodily autonomy is important. So like if you
Yeah.
want to change it, then like by all means. But I think like we do have a lot of younger listeners, I think, because most of them come from your audience and some of them are
Mhm.
like, you know, around our age, a little younger, a little older. I think it's worth saying as a general PSA to like give this a lot of thought. Like Tia has given this a lot of thought. And even though I don't agree with what she's come to, I respect it and I accept that she has come to this through a lot of like thought and introspection, and like it's not just a spur of the moment thing. But always
Yes.
think about this stuff
Oh,
because
of course.
like, and here's the thing. I have another friend who I won't name, who really wanted a nose job. Like she hated her nose. Like she has a different kind of nose than you do, Tia, but she hated her nose.
Mhm.
And she was gonna get a nose job, but she did not have the money, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll just wait until I have enough to make a down payment or whatever what she was doing. And over the time it took her to wait to gather up enough money, like she changed and she started really loving her nose again. And then she started like hating something else. I think it was her ears or something. But at that point she was like, well, knowing me, I'm going to love this feature that I hate now like a year in the future or 2 years in the future. So what's the point of changing it when I'll probably cycle back around to it and like it again? Not that I'm saying that's what's going to happen to you, Tia, but just like in
Yeah, and
general.
I go through cycles with being sometimes I'm like okay with my nose for like a couple of months, but then the second I see a picture of me taken from the side or I like really see it again, I hate it again. So I feel like I go into phases of just denial about it. Um, which I wear really big glasses specifically to hide it. So it's easy if I just like look at myself in the mirror from the front for a while and just pretend it's not there. I can be like, yeah, my face looks fine. I don't know. I can't think of anything that I hated in the past that I'm now okay with. I think for the most part, I've always just been like, yeah, this is my corporeal form, and it just kind of
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And I think that's perfectly valid. I just think it's important for different people to know if there are cycles in their ways of thinking. It's important to know
Hmm.
that and be aware of that. And sometimes you're not aware of those things until like, you know, your mid 20s or something, and that's okay. So like anyone out there who wants to get plastic surgery, I think there's value in waiting to see if you come back around to your body. So
yeah, absolutely.
know.
Like I've thought about doing this for years and years. And think about it for a long time if you want to do something like this.
Yeah. That being said, I will miss your dear face. Like,
my face will be the same. I honestly think because of my glasses, like distracting from that area of my face so much, it might not even be that noticeable, at least from the front.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I
it'll
often
be noticeable to me, and that's what matters.
Exactly. Though I will once in a while, like when you take your glasses off, I'm always really weird about it and like I feel like I'm low key creepy, but I'm like your face. It's your face.
You will creep up, take my glasses off my face, and be like your face.
Just because to be honest, I think you have the most interesting face out of everyone that I know. Like for a long time when we were younger, I was not jealous necessarily, but I had so much admiration for the character that your face had.
Aww.
And of course, the closer that we got, the more dear you became to me. And like the people you love, their faces are always beautiful to you because it's the love hormones working in your brain. They're like, this is your person. Therefore, anything that is theirs is beautiful. So like,
yeah,
I know
you. That's exactly how I feel too about everyone close to me. And if someone that I was close to wanted to get plastic surgery, I would be supportive because I get it. So of course I'd be like, yes, do whatever makes you feel good. I support you. But I wouldn't necessarily want to see them change.
Yeah. Have you thought about, not to get too real or too deep in this podcast that was not supposed to go in this direction, but when is it ever? Have you thought about what if you don't like it? Or what if you don't feel any different?
I obviously don't think that it's going to make me so much happier in every aspect of my life and it's going to fix everything. But I think that it will make me more confident in small ways every day, even if it's just skipping over that 5 minutes doing my makeup where I'm like, wow, my face is horrendous. It's going to be more of an absence of feeling terrible than just being overjoyed every day about. Maybe I will be. Maybe I'll be like, holy shit, my nose is great. Because, being a person who hates your nose, maybe someone listening can relate to this. Being a person who hates your nose or who hates any specific feature about yourself, you notice that feature so much on other people. And I definitely look at some noses and I'm like, hot damn, that's a great nose. Which is such a weird thing now that I say that out loud.
I wish I could give you that peace right now without you having to go through a surgery. Like, I wish I could just, wave a magic tentacle and be like, now you love your face. Congratulations.
Oh, I wish I could too, trust me. But and my face will still be a weird face after that, trust me.
Yeah.
Like my surgeon, when I was in my consultation for my nose, my surgeon suggested like doing something to my chin as well because people on the internet do not see my side profile. But, like, I like my face from the front. From the side, I just have a huge nose and not much of a chin. So, he suggested...
They wanted to fix your chin?
Yeah,
and
I was
like, this
no.
Man.
Like, I don't give a shit about my chin. Like, is it...
Oh my god,
a particularly shapely chin? No, but it's fine. I don't care.
Why? Why would... Oh my god, I'm gonna fight this man, Teya.
Because you must balance the profile.
I hate plastic surgeons. I hate them. They're a bane on this earth. God. I'm gonna fix his chin. My god.
Oh shit! But yeah, no, I have no interest in fixing anything else about my body. Like, there's lots of stuff about myself that I'm like, yeah, I'm really tall and lanky and I have no ass and I have a lot of thick body hair but it's like, it's whatever, dude. It's fine. Like, nothing bothers me the way my nose bothers me. Like, I can accept all of the other things about myself that are kind of weird.
I'm just saying right here, right now, like on the internet for posterity, if you ever get ass implants, I'm leaving you.
Oh my god, I'm leaving too. I will astral project out of my body.
Because Jesus.
No,
Jesus Christ.
literally never. I don't. No, ew. Not if anyone out there is genuinely wants ass implants, sorry, it just sounds funny to say ass implants, but I'm not saying ew to you. I am not shaming. You do whatever the hell you want with your body. Do what makes you feel good, and I will support you. But for me personally, my flat ass is completely okay with me.
Just listen, you know, if you're gonna do it, just try and go to somebody who knows what they're doing, because that's some scary stuff. You don't want
Oh, yeah.
chemicals leaking into your body. Oh my god. Like, yeah, I don't. And like, I don't have to understand it. Like, just a general PSA. I don't have to. Like, I will say a lot of I don't get it and I don't understand it this episode, but like,
It's
who
more
am
just
I?
like,
I'm
I would
nobody.
not do it myself. If you want to do it, good on you. Live your best life. But it's just,
Yeah.
you know, that's what I assume.
But like, I used to. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But like, I used to know girls in my youth who were like, oh yeah, when I'm 18, like, I'd love to get breast implants. And like, these were not girls who like, there was nothing had happened to their breasts. Their breasts were like average and fine. So like, in that case, I'm like, why would you put yourself through that kind of dangerous surgery and put yourself at that risk at that point? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I guess implants are a very different type of surgery than, what I'm getting is taking bone out of my face. But
Yeah, at least I
get
don't
it.
have
If
to
it's something
worry
you
about,
genuinely hate about yourself, like, I get that. I get it when you hate something enough to want to get surgery about it. But I don't know. I do question, especially with breast implants, you do question
Yeah.
how much is possibly from societal pressure. Of course, except in
Yeah.
the case of trans women. Honestly, when I talk about getting a nose job, like, the most unconditionally supportive people have been trans friends, because I'm just like,
Mm.
to them, I guess surgery is like a positive thing in a way. So
Yeah.
just the mindset, I think I've noticed
Yeah.
is about surgery is very, very different in the trans community. So that's not
Yeah.
what we're talking about in this episode. We're
Yeah.
talking about mostly young cis girls.
I think there's been a thing recently. I saw an article, was it in the Times somewhere? Like, talking about how like young cis men getting facial surgery.
Yeah, it's getting a lot bigger with men.
Yeah. And it's like, it's weird. Like, I think this is a good way to like set like
I
a
think-
good segue to turn it back to body hair too, because like I've noticed a lot more of commercials for body hair removal for men now. I think either Veet or Nair have a new like for men line, which is obviously the same thing, only
Huh.
the bottles aren't pink, they're like dark steel gray or whatever the hell.
It's the
so men
same,
feel
but it's
manly.
for men now.
Yeah, and probably the scent is like not flowers. It's like, I don't know, a
But
mountain glacier.
Oh, damn.
Like,
But
part of me is
I was
like,
gonna say something. What? Oh, fillers. Plastic surgery is so much more accessible and so much more popular now because of the rise of fillers.
yeah,
Because it's affordable for most people. Most people have a couple $100s. But it is also kind of leading to the whole everyone looking the same. There's one face that's popular and everyone's kind of moving towards looking like the same weird Barbie or Ken doll. Which, I don't like that, but it's also... Does it matter what I think? Does it matter if I think these people are beautiful or attractive or anything? No, because I'm just some random person on the internet. So who am I to
but here's the thing.
say that? I don't
Here's
know.
the thing. I will say that I think we do have a horse in this race in a certain way. Especially you, I think, because
Mhm.
you are a personality on the internet who's seen by hundreds of thousands of people. When
Mm.
somebody, man or woman, not only subscribes to those traditional body image ideals, but like tries to make themselves emulate that, it's feeding into something that affects
Yeah.
everyone. So like, yeah, if
Yeah.
Jane Doe, the Instagram model, is over here getting breast implants and lip filler, it can be very easy for us to say, well, it doesn't affect me, like, you do you, Jane. But you know what? It affects other women too, because Jane,
Yeah, that's completely
Jane
correct. For people who have a following,
exactly.
The context is different. I think it's important to be open about plastic surgery, but at the same time, when people make content about that kind of stuff and talk about it, it does in a way encourage other people.
Yeah, like, again, I keep saying this academic article I've read. Like I've had to do
And
like for context, I've had to do like I've had to look into stuff about social media and body image and plastic surgery before. Like not personally, but for, other purposes.
yeah.
So I have a weird amount of knowledge about this stuff, but
Oh, go
what the
off.
data is returning, and like obviously this is a very new field and like things are changing and coming in every year. Like for those of you who don't know, academia is very slow. It's very hard to find stuff on very recent occurrences because academics take their goddamn time, and then academic publishers take their even more of their goddamn time. So by the time something gets published, you're like, well, we're already moved on to the next phase of whatever is happening. But okay. So there have already been links made between young adolescent girls having poor body image when they're constantly looking at social media because the comparison starts. And that's even between like, little Janie and little Mary, who are two completely normal girls who go to school together. But like even by looking at
Yeah.
the social media of peers, like that has an effect, especially when you start to factor in filters and editing and all that stuff. So I think about these young girls.
Oh yeah, being surrounded by edited versions of people's lives and edited versions of their bodies all the time
Yeah, it's
will fuck you up. Why do you think I only follow Korean cat accounts on Instagram?
yeah, but like
Like-
we're starting to see the data that's true. Like obviously instinctually we're like, yeah, that seems like a bad thing, but like the data is starting to come back that is indeed true. And it's just it really unsettles me. And I remember I was listening to some YouTuber who was saying that like she's Canadian, but she has friends in LA, and her LA friends have tried to talk her into getting lip fillers. And they're like, "Oh yeah, everyone," because she has really thin lips. So her LA friends are like, "Everyone does it. Like I don't know anyone who hasn't gotten at least lip fillers." It's like that's terrifying to me. Like I understand that Los Angeles is like a different world and you have like actors and musicians and that's just kind of how it is. But like I've said this to you before and we'll probably talk about it at some point in a future podcast when we're talking about like, how the world is kind of turning into a sci-fi dystopia. But like I will never.
And there is again a part of me that a horrible, horrible part of me that is a giant sci-fi fan and just kind of wants to see the dystopia happen just for the entertainment of it.
Yeah.
Just a very dark, horrible part of me that should not be listened to. That it's just like hell yeah, sci-fi dystopia.
Yeah. So like when I'm looking at these things, when I'm hearing people be like, "Well, that's just kind of the way it is here," this is the way it is never an acceptable excuse. It never is. So like, yeah, okay, maybe it's naive for me to be sitting here and be like, people in Hollywood shouldn't use lip fillers and plastic surgery because that's morally wrong. But like at the same time, I refuse to just be like, yeah, do whatever. Yeah, you're furthering harmful like stereotypes and like body image expectations, but like, go off, I guess. Like no, I refuse, especially when like I like just to be an adolescent, to be a young person in the world today seems to me to be like the most awful possible thing because there's just no like how do you determine what's real when you have all of these conflicting things coming at you? Like I was very fortunate to have friends with really strong senses of self, and even then we had some like difficult times with that kind of stuff. Like it's just it is terrifying to me.
For me, I lean towards being the type of person who says, you do you. It's all good. I accept everyone. I would never judge someone or not be friends with someone for having plastic surgery. Like at the end of the day, I'm chill, but I also think, I don't know, as someone with an audience, I feel like it would be irresponsible to, I don't know, show off my body or edit my pictures too much or present a fake version of my life to people. Like I always say I'm bad at social media, but it's kind of just because I don't feel right. I don't know, using social media in the way that so many influencers do, which is just to present this perfect fake version of themselves. I just don't feel comfortable with it. I don't like it. I would prefer to post pictures of myself T-posing in alleyways.
Yeah.
You know? My Instagram is fire. Go follow me.
Yeah.
But it's not. I have like 20 photos because I don't know how to even I get like messages sometimes. This is possibly dark, but I get messages sometimes from people in like pro anorexia
Oh my
communities like,
God.
how do you get so skinny? Like,
Oh
what are
my
your
God.
dieting tips? And I feel it makes me so
Oh
uncomfortable
my God.
because I am a very thin person, but at the same time, I ate 2 cannolis yesterday. I've never dieted a day in my life. It's my body type. It's just I've collapsed 2 lungs because of it. I'm just a very thin person, and I feel the need especially to not like make that known too much online because it's just like I feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah, when it comes to the pro Anna communities, it's really hard to, yeah, it's just really hard. Like, because on the one hand, you want to, I
Yeah.
think you're doing the responsible thing, and like, not to be like plugging academic articles, but if anyone listening wants like an maybe like a whole understanding of online pro Anna communities and like the thinspiration communities, especially on Instagram, I really, really, really recommend Debbie Ging and Sarah Garvey's "Written in These Scars Are the Stories I Can't Explain: A Content Analysis of Pro Anna and Thinspiration Image Sharing on Instagram." It's
We can post links to this on the
Yeah.
podcast Tumblr. if
I'm
you
not
want.
sure if you can access it for free if you're not connected to some kind of academic institution, but there should, hopefully, there will be a way. But yeah, I'll send Tia the link because it's a really, I mean, I'm not an academic, I'm not licensed in any of these things, but it was a really good read for me because what happens with a lot of like a lot of discussions of the pro Anna communities is that it's just straight up demonization, like, or like victimization. Like, these people are like clearly delusional and we need to help them and the internet is bad. But this article does a really good job of breaking down like how in a lot of ways it's a response to society, like society's pressures on young women, and how it's like a form of rebellion and at the same time a form of really extreme adherence to these body image standards. So like it's a really interesting read unless you're triggered by that stuff. But yeah, I just found it really
No,
interesting.
that sounds
Yeah,
fascinating.
sorry Tia to just be like you know.
No, it's fascinating.
Yeah, but yeah,
But
give it a read
I
if you can.
yeah.
Yeah. But
My point that I was making was just I would feel very irresponsible showing off my life and body.
yeah.
I just would not feel morally right
Yeah.
promoting these things to a audience of people, including young people and teenagers.
Yeah.
And so while I look at other people and I'm like, that's fine, you do you. At the same time, I do have very strong moral beliefs about it, even
Yeah.
though I only really apply them to myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
That's what I had to say about that.
I'm not here to like roast YouTubers, but yeah, I don't
YouTube culture is
yeah, I just on
something.
yeah, online culture, Instagram culture, I understand that if you're beautiful and conventionally attractive and thin and that's going to get you money and fame and power, if that's what's important to you, that is what it is. I'm not going to say it's fine because I don't believe it's fine. But just
I have no energy to fight. It's fine. That's just my stance. It's fine, I guess.
I always think about the young people. And not even young people, like we say like
Yeah.
a lot, like adolescents and young people are being affected. Like,
The young people.
listen,
we must save the youth.
you can be an adult, you can be 20, 25, 30 and still feel affected by these things too. So like, you know, don't feel like
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, I feel like a lot of attention is given to like teenagers and like young teenage girls when, you know, research tells us that women in their 20s and 30s and older are all like affected by these things as well. So like just I know it's really like we're just some people online and it doesn't really matter if we're sitting here like, love your body, all bodies are beautiful. Like obviously that doesn't mean anything to you as a listener, but like
No, it doesn't.
but just
It's okay. Honestly,
like
it's,
don't
again,
listen.
the whole prioritizing beauty.
Yeah.
It's okay to be ugly. It's okay to be a goblin. It's okay not to feel good about yourself all the time. So that's what
Yeah. Like
yeah.
you don't have to listen to us, but also don't listen to Jane Doe on her Instagram with her fit tea either. That's what I will say.
All bodies are possessed meat sacks.
Exactly. And you know what? You know how you get a little bit of freedom? You throw a sheet over yourself. I used to be very self-conscious about my cousin looking body, but you know what? Then I threw a sheet over it and I learned to love I learned to love the shape in the sheet and outside of the sheet. So like, yeah, just throw a bed sheet on yourself, throw anything on yourself, a long flowing pashmina, like whatever. It does wonders. A cape. Also, shout out to that one commenter who said that I am cousin It's secret child. I mean, don't expose my
Because it kind of works. Like, it's a similar aesthetic.
don't expose my life secrets like that. Like, you don't need to know. You don't need to know the relationship between me and cousin It. But yeah, very amusingly enough, subconsciously, my style, I think I accidentally picked up from that. There's this one picture in particular. Those of you on the Patreon Discord chat will probably realize this. My icon avatar is cousin
It's also,
It.
there's like so few people on the Patreon Discord, though. It's like 5 people watching this get that.
I know, but
But
you don't know. Some of them.
Gotta give a little shout out to the
Exactly.
lovely patrons.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing, or like maybe ask your opinion too about this one
Okay.
last thing. Like we talk a lot about young women too, but like you mentioned it and I mentioned it as well, like this stuff is on the rise with men. And I feel like it can be really easy to be like, well, women have had to deal with it for all this time, so, karma. But like ideally, we don't want anyone to be feeling like they are not enough. Like it'd be great if, men and young men too gain some empathy about what it's like to be constantly bombarded by like ideal versions of a body which you do not have. But yeah, I don't know.
And
I think
I don't know.
it's hard.
I have no idea how I would speak about the experience of young men because I mean, we grew up in an all-girls school.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any men when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Didn't have any male friends because, I only socialized with like 4 people.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how the male experience of being a teenager in the social media era would compare.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know, for all our young men listeners out there, everything we said applies to you too.
Everything we said can apply to anyone that it resonates with.
Exactly. Just everybody, it's rough out there. It's hard out there. And the only person who will always 100% be in your corner is you. So you should try and make sure you're in your corner as firmly as you can be because, like, it's wild out there. It's the wild, wild west out there. And
It's a wild time.
loving yourself, I think, is the most rebellious.
Loving yourself is the Wild West.
Loving yourself is the most rebellious, like, punk rock act that you can have in these trying
Hell
times.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, you don't have to.
You know what's cool, kids? You know what's lit these days? Is loving yourself.
Exactly. You don't have to love your body.
So punk rock.
You don't have to love your body. Your body can just be a vessel that contains your incredible, beautiful, wonderful spirit. Like, that's all it has to be.
Yeah. You are a possessed meat sack. You gotta love what's possessing the meat sack.
Exactly. Mama Teya and Parent Nemo love you and support you, and we want what's best for you. And we don't want you to get taken in by the weird,
Exactly.
soulless Instagram models.
Even if what makes you feel good about yourself is lip injections, we support you there too, as long as it genuinely makes you happier and more confident every day.
Exactly. And is not just because you think, the cool kids want you to do it.
Not because anyone pressured you into it or you felt like you needed it to be attractive.
Exactly.
Because you don't.
You do not.
You will find someone who is into the unique, strange way that you look, regardless.
Yeah. And, The people you love will be beautiful to you. So the people who love you will think that you're beautiful. And that doesn't have to be a
Exactly.
like,
That's
you
how it
know,
works.
a weird thing about like, oh, you know, your body is beautiful. Like that doesn't matter. Like the people who love you, if you're a good person, the goodness will come through. And that's really all that matters. And wow, we really became an like afternoon, like after school special. Wow.
We got like dark and deep this episode that we gotta like bring it up at the end with an inspirational
Yeah.
talk.
But yeah, and the moral of the story is if anyone is mean to you because of how you look, just I don't know, throw them into the void. You know. Works for me.
Yeet them into the void. Nemo will eat them with their many teeth.
Yeah,
It'll be
love
great.
to consume assholes, you know? It's great. Okay.
Oh no. That could have sounded
Oh
better.
no. Cut that. You're not going to cut that. I know you. You're not going to cut that.
No, absolutely not. I loved it.
Ugh.
On the note of consuming assholes, we will see you on another episode of the podcast at some time in the future because we don't have a schedule for making these yet.
Bye.